like it's game time. A lot of baseball news in the Bay Area this week. The A's meeting with Oakland officials to talk about plans for next season.
Yeah, and the Ballers announcing where they'll play their inaugural season. This morning, former A's executive Andy Dolich joins us live to talk about the two moves. Good morning to you, Andy.
Good morning, Nicole and Gianna. You can't tell the players without a scorecard, and you need a gigantic eraser when you're talking about the A's and what's going on.
Okay, so let's start right there with the A's because there are so many questions surrounding the team's future. What are the odds that they extend the team's lease at the Coliseum at the end of the season?
I'm not a Vegas person, but it seems like they had a positive conversation. That coming out of an A's spokesperson, and I'd like to know who said it. The real issue is I want to see a meeting with the mayor. I want to see Rob Manfred, John Fisher, the lead person from the county, and others sitting in a room and negotiating what the real future of the A's is. Just to talk about an extension would be another gut punch if, in fact, they're going to Las Vegas. And there seems to be a number of major issues. Probably the greatest spokesperson for Oakland right now happens to be, ironically, the mayor of Las Vegas, Carolyn Goodman, who said, I want them to stay in Oakland. So if you think about all of the issues that are under the table that need to be brought into the light, and that the mayor really needs to have a long-term, coherent, strategic group put together, until that happens, I think this remains a question mark in terms of whether they extend the lease at the Coliseum.
Man, this question mark feels like it just lingers and lingers. I mean, years of this, Andy. And considering A's fans aren't really happy about the move to Las Vegas, obviously, but is it really better for the team to maybe just play outside of Oakland after this year?
I believe the best place is at the Coliseum. They could have already been in a new, wonderful place, a wonderful ballpark at the Coliseum, but John Fisher, ironically and oddly, took that off the table right at the beginning, along with 7 or 8 other locations. If you are going to play in Las Vegas, the question that I would ask Nicole and Gianna, how many season ticket deposits do the A's have right now from fans who are looking forward to playing in a convertible or dome stadium on a 9-acre site sometime in 28, 29, or 30? So what I would be looking for here, having all of those people in the room, is taking Oakland out of Las Vegas, giving Las Vegas an expansion opportunity, force Fisher, and the commissioner has that power, force Fisher to stay in Oakland or sell the team, build a new ballpark either at the Coliseum or Howard Terminal, and let Las Vegas play big at the $2.2 billion that the commissioner wants to get from 2 cities as an expansion. That's what I would do. That would be my wish. And it probably is more than a wish than reality.
But it sounds very reasonable. So let's go from the A's to the B's because the Oakland Ballers announced that they're going to be playing their home games at Raimondi Park in West Oakland next year. How big is this for the team and that area of the city?
I think it is fantastic. I've followed what the B's have done, and they've gotten all A's up to this point. And isn't it ironic that when the B's asked to play a game at the Coliseum, who said no? The A's. Because for the last few years, they've been at the bottom of attendance. They've had horrible records. And how odd might it be if next year the B's outdraw the A's, even if the A's are playing at the Coliseum? So you have all of these efforts. I mean, you have the B's, you have the stay and sell group, you have the reverse boycott. That's what I'm talking about bringing all of these groups together and working seriously in negotiations and in money, right? And the other point is Fisher owns half of the Coliseum. How's that going to be worked out? That is a card that he's played magnificently over the last few years. That needs to be clawed back. And they're best off playing in Oakland, talking about the A's, because they get the local broadcast money. The B's are going to be buzzing around the A's for as long as the A's situation is completely fuzzy. And it is right now fuzzier than ever.
I like what you did there. The bees are going to be buzzing around the A's. Andy Dolich, we appreciate your insight, and I think they should invite you to all of these meetings and maybe bring everybody together, because you really have some good insight and some ideas on how to keep baseball alive and well and thriving here in Oakland in the Bay.
Gianna, I appreciate that. And there have been a number of people in all parts of the community that have asked to be part of a strategic group. And the response has been crickets,
Wow.
not bees. And the bees are getting A's, but let's stop the crickets and get something done.
Absolutely. Andy Dolich, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.